In our last MRP processing example, we used an ordering technique called lot for lot. This is where your order size equals the net requirements. Whatever you need is whatever you will make or buy. In this example, there's a slight twist to that. We are going to do an MRP processing example for lot sizes. Lot sizes could be if your firm has an economic order quantity, or when you go to buy products from the manufacturer, they don't allow you to buy exactly what you need. You have to buy things in batches, like a box of 100, or a pallet of 250. So a lot size means that you're getting something delivered or manufactured in a specific quantity that is not exactly the lot for lot ordering size, that where your order size equals your net requirements. So this is a little variation on the example that we just did for MRP processing for lot. This is the lot size technique. In this example, we're going to be using all of the same master production schedule. So your master schedule is 100 shutters due week 4, 150 shutters due week 8. You have the same product structure tree and bill of materials, and all of the lead times remain the same as well. The only thing that is changing is that instead of doing lot for lot ordering, you will now have lot sizes. And those lot sizes are 320 units of the frames and 70 units of the wood sections. So now let's break out the blank MRP form again. So we're going to use the same exact form, and we will fill out exactly the same master production schedule. So you're going to have 100 of your shutters that are to be delivered in week 4 and 150 shutters in week 8. So your master production schedule is the same. Now when we fill out the details, there's a little difference. You can see that your lead times remain the same. Shutters are still 1 week, and the shutters, which are your top level assembly, your finished good item, which are manufactured internally by you, those are still lot for lot. If you remember on the last slide, what was given is that you've got a lot size for the frames and you've got a lot size for the wood sections, but the shutters remain lot for lot. So for the frames, the lead time is still 2 weeks. There's still 2 frames per 1 shutter. The difference this time is that you've got a lot size of 320 frames per order. So you have to get them in increments of 320. Same thing for the wood sections. There's still a 1 week lead time. There's still 4 wood sections per shutter. And your lot size of the wood sections is 70. Now remember, we have 70 units of the wood sections coming in week 1. That also remains unchanged. So now we're going to drag down our master schedule. You still have 100 units in week 4 of the shutters and 150 units in week 8. Remember, you will go left to right because we must fulfill all of our requirements for frames and wood sections for the shutters that are supposed to ship in week 4. So we need to fulfill the dependent demand items in week 4 first. So your gross requirements are 100 units. You have 0 scheduled receipts, 0 projected on hand. Your net requirements are therefore 100 shutters. That is offset by the 1 week lead time. So to have them done in week 4, since there's a 1 week lead time, you will do your planned order release in week 3 for those 100 shutters. So now it gets fun. Here's the fun part. We now go down to the frames in the wood section. They have lot sizes, so it's going to be different than our last example. The frames are still 2 frames per 1 shutter, so you're going to need 200 frames. You have 0 scheduled receipts and you have 0 projected on hand, so your net requirements of the frames are still 200. In our last example, you just made 200 frames, or you bought 200 frames, but this time you've got a lot size, and that lot size is 320 units. So you have to bring them in of increments of 320. So there's a 2 week lead time offset. You need the frames in week 3. So therefore, you buy or make, you start that order in week 1. So you're going to start the order or buy the products in week 1, and you have to make or buy 320 units this time. So now what you see, if you're looking at the middle section for frames, you needed 200, but you had to make or buy 320. So now you have 320 frames. You use them, you use 200 of them, so there's 120 left over. So those 120 pieces are now left in projected on-hand inventory. You needed 200, you had 320, so there's now 120 left over, and that's the difference between lot for lot and lot size. With lot size, you're generally going to have leftover inventory. Now let's go down to the wood sections. The wood sections are 4 wood sections per shutter, so you need 400 wood sections. You have a scheduled receipt of 70 coming in week 1. Those come in on time, and they are delivered in week 1, so therefore they transition from being a scheduled receipt and open order to being on hand. They are now projected on hand. They went from being an open order to a received order. They have now arrived at our facility, so we have 70 units in stock. Those 70 units arrived in week 1, but we didn't need them in week 1, so they carry over into week 2. You can see they're here in inventory in week 2. They're still in inventory, those 70 pieces, in week 3, and that's when we need them to create our order of 100 shutters in week 4. So we need 400 wood sections. We have 70 on hand. So our net requirements are 330 shutters. But you can't buy or make 330 shutters. They come in a lot size of 70. So what you will do in this example is you will take 330, which is your net requirements. You will divide it by your lot size, which is 70, and that gives you 4.7. You can't buy 4.7 lots, so in MRP with lot sizes, you will always round up. Every single time you will round up. You would rather have excess inventory than a shortage. If you have a shortage, you can't fulfill your demand, and you can't ship your 100 shutters. So you'd rather just have a little bit of excess inventory of the wood sections, so therefore you always round up. So you order 5 lots. 5 lots of 70 each means you're going to receive 350 wood shutters. You only need 330 of them. So as you can see, you're going to have 20 left over. So let's just do that real quick once again. You need 400 wood sections. That's your gross requirements. You have 70 that are open, and they will arrive in week 1. They sit there in inventory until week 3 until you use them. So your net requirements are 330. This is not a lot-for-lot scenario. You can't just make or buy 330 units. So, because the lot size is 70, you will take 330, your net requirements, divide it by 70, which gives you 4.7. You will round up from the 4.7 to 5, and you will multiply 5 lots times 70 units, which is your lot size, and you will either make or buy 350 units of the wood shutters. You only need 330, so 20 of them will be left over in inventory. So now we have completed our requirements for the 100 shutters to ship in week 4. But we still have our order of 150 shutters in week 8. So now let's fulfill those requirements. If we look at 150 shutters, our gross requirements in week 8, we have no scheduled receipts of shutters. We have no projected on hand. So our net requirements for the shutters are 150. Those are offset by a 1-week lead time, which means we will start that order in week 7 to be completed in week 8. There are 2 frames for every 1 shutter. So because we need 150 shutters, we now need 300 frames. Again, the difference with lot sizes is that many times you will have on-hand inventory. So for our gross requirements of 100 in week 4, we needed 200 frames, but we got 320 of them, which means we had 120 left over. They were left over in week 4. They sat there in week 5. They sat there again for week 6 because there was no requirements to use them up. In week 7, those 120 frames that were sitting in inventory finally got used. So your gross requirements were 300 in week 7. Your 120 frames that were on hand got allocated to that order. So you have 180 as your net requirements. But you can't make or buy 180 because this is a lot size. And that lot size is 320. So once again, you make or buy 320 units even though you only need 180. There's a 2-week lead time offset. So you place your order in week 5, it arrives in week 7 for 320 units, and 320 units minus 180, which is your net requirements, means you have 140 of the frames left over in inventory in week 8. For the wood sections, we drop down to week 7 again. You need gross requirements of 600 wood sections. You also have on-hand inventory of wood sections. Granted, it's only 20 pieces, but still, you've got 600 as your gross requirements. The 20 pieces that were left over in week 4, they also sat in inventory until you needed them in week 7. So your net requirements are 580 units. They have a lot size of 70. So once again, you're going to take 580 this time, divided by 70, and that gives you 8.3. So you round up again to 9, and 9 times 70 gives you 630. So that's how many your fixed order quantity will be for, your lot size, I shouldn't say fixed, your lot size of 630 pieces will be placed in week 6. They will arrive in week 7. So you're going to get 630 pieces even though you only need 580. Your net requirements are 580. So you're getting 630. 630 minus 580 means you're going to have 50 wood sections left in inventory in week 8. Here's one thing I'll point out for you. On your exam, there are many different questions I could ask you after doing this MRP matrix in this scenario. I could ask you, how many frames will be left over in inventory in week 5? And your answer would be 120. I could ask you how many frames will be left over in week 8. The answer would be 140. I could say, when do you make your release for wood sections to support the order of 150 shutters in week 8? So if you drop down to the wood sections and you look at the lead time offset, you would know that you have your planned order release for 630 wood sections in week 6. So that would be week 6. So these are the various different questions that I can ask you based off of the MRP matrix that you've just now completed.